at the background.
Please, who is not muted, please? You're muted now. All right, let us continue. So requirement 3 of the question says that we should estimate the percentage gain in the value of the follow-on product to a net equal share based on its cash flows and on the assumption that the production can be delayed following acquisition of the exclusive right of production. Now, what is the background to this? This company has already acquired the rights. Let me say, for instance, the company has acquired the patent.
I can't see you.
What do you say?
I can't see you.
Oh, sorry. Can you see me now?
Yes, sir.
You can see me now, Abby?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. So I said, background to this question is that this company has already acquired the right. And this right is what will enable the company to manufacture these products. The company has already acquired the right to manufacture these follow-on products. And for the company has a right, the company has a right to delay the commencement of production of the follow-on product for 2 years. For instance, I buy license in year 2021. I have the right, if I also, the agreements include the fact that I can wait until 2 years' time before I commence production. That is right to delay. Okay, so I have the right to delay. That is the reason why you see now, you are seeing year 1, nothing is in now, nothing is in year 1. Okay, now, because now the cash flow here, we are not committing any fund to it now. We are going to start manufacturing this product in year 2. So we have delayed it for 2 years. Okay, we have delayed it for 2 years. We start at the end of year 2. We start at the end of year 2. So the product can be delayed, the manufacturing of the product can be delayed for 2 years. That is what it means. Now, what's the background to this? We have what you call option pricing. I'm going to give you detail, please pay attention. Option pricing model. But before we look at the model, it is very important that we look at what is option. When we say option, what are we talking about? Option. You have been using this word in your daily activities. Option. What option do we have? Abi, do I have an option? Do I do this? Do I do that? So what is that option that we have been saying? So what is an option? An option can be defined an option can be defined as a contract which gives its holder the rights, but not the obligation. Take note. But not what? But not the obligation to buy or sell an underlying assets. To buy or sell an underlying assets, e.g., wheat, rice, shares, bonds, etc. It gives its owner the what? The right, but not the obligation to buy or sell an underlying asset at an agreed, okay, let me put it this way. In the future, at an agreed price, known as the exercise price, known as the exercise price, known as exercise price, with a consideration known as the premium. This is what we call an option. I've only given you the definition now. Now I'm going to explain in detail to you what this definition entails. When we say option, that you are buying an underlying asset, this is what we mean. December is in 3 months' time. Is it 3 months time? Yeah. Okay, less than 3 months, Abby. Okay. That's end of the year. End of the year activities. So end of the year activity will actually start next month, but the peak of it is in December, right? That's the peak of end of the year activities. You see that sellers of commodities, even companies, they want to appreciate their customers. Okay, company want to appreciate their customers as well as their staff for the job well done during the year, and as such, they'll be buying some gift for distribution to these employees or to their customers. Now, let us assume that the gifts this company want to buy is rice. The company want to buy, let me say, 1,000 bags of rice. That's all the company want to buy. But don't forget, if I go to the market right now to buy 1,000 bags of rice, it means I have to put it in warehouse for like 2 months, isn't it? If the company does not have warehouse of its own, it means the company will need to rent a warehouse, isn't it? and stock these products there. And that will cost money. Even though if the company has its own warehouse, if the warehouse is used for other purposes, it means they will not be able to use it for that purpose. Therefore, the company may not want to buy the rice today. Today date is what? Today is 13th. 13th of October 2021. 13th of October 2021. Now, we don't want to buy rice today because we don't have the capacity to store rice. Are we together, please? Are you with me? Let me know. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Angela. Mrs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You all with. Okay. Mrs. Angela, are you there?
I'm with you, sir.
Okay. Why I'm asking this is that we get pricing theory, all what I'm explaining here, I will explain it again. That's the reason why, and I cannot solve question 3 without this explanation. Otherwise, you won't understand what I'm doing. So, please, let's understand, or let us pay attention. Now, I don't want to buy rice on this date today. But we know what happened to the price of rice. If I don't buy rice today, next month, rice, what is the price of rice now? What is the price of rice? Bag of rice. Is it 26,000 or 30,000? What is the price?
30 something.
If you women are still telling me 20 something, what about me that I'm a man?
I said 30 something. 30.
And 30 what? I don't want to hear something now. 30 what?
Can be 36.
36. Are you kidding me?
Depends on the type of rice. If it's foreign rice, it's about that price. If it's
36.
Nigerian
This
rice,
way.
something.
Okay. So let's say now price of rice now. Let me put it at out of 35K. But I know that if I wait until December before I buy rice, maybe the price will have gone up to maybe 45K. Yes, very possible. Maybe the price will have been 45K in December. That is my fear. I don't want to buy now. If I buy now, I will buy at 35,000, but I will have to store it somewhere. If I wait until December before I buy, the price may go to 45,000. What do I do? That is where offshore comes to play. Okay? That is where offshore comes to play. Now, what I will do is that, let me assume that Mrs. Angela sells rice. You sell rice, Mrs. Angela. You are a dealer of rice. You import rice, you sell. Now, what I will do is that I will approach Mrs. Angela and tell her that, come, I want to buy 1,000 bags of rice in December. But I want us to agree the price now. Look at the risk. The price is currently 35,000. I now approach Mrs. Angela and tell her that, come, the price of rice now I know is 35,000, but I'm not buying rice now. I want to buy 1,000 bags in December, but I want us to agree the price at which I will buy rice from Mrs. Angela in December. I want us to agree the price now. The price that we are agreeing to now, that price that we agree between me and Mrs. Angela, that price is what we call the exercise price. Okay? The price that we agree that, okay, come on, Mrs. Angela can tell me, okay, don't worry. In December, I will give you 1 bag of rice, or I will sell 1 bag of rice to you at 38,000. I will sell 1 bag of rice to you at 38,000. We have agreed. We have agreed on this price. Now, if in December, true, price of rice has gone to 45,000, what will I do? I will go to Mrs. Angela and tell her that, come, you know that one day like that, on the 13th of October, we entered into an agreement and we fixed the price of rice at 38,000 naira. So the time has come for me to buy the rice. So even though 1 bag of rice is sold at 45,000 in the market, I will buy rice from Mrs. Angela at 38,000 naira bag. So in that case, I'm exercising my right. The exercise price is 38. So I'm exercising my right. And why am I exercising my right? Because if I exercise my right, I will be able to buy rice at a cheaper rate. But if I do not exercise the right, I will buy rice at 45K. So which one is better? Should I exercise my right or should I not? I will exercise my right because that is the one that will favor me. But look, let us look at this situation. Let us assume that the bag of rice in December is eventually 33,000. But we have agreed with Mrs. Angela that I'm going to buy rice at 38,000. I will just forget the agreement straight. I will what? I will forget the agreement straight and go to the market and buy my rice at what? 33,000, because going to the market to buy the rice is cheaper than buying from Mrs. Angela at 38,000 naira. Who did not understand this concept? If you do not understand, let me know so that I can explain it again. Or if you have any concern, let me know.
Yeah, please rewind.
I'm not Keseto. You know, it's clear that they use
Please repeat the explanation.
Let me see how she define. So, okay. This is what I'm saying. I want to buy 1,000 bags of rice in December. Okay. This is the number of bags of rice I want to buy in December. But my concern is that I don't want to buy the rice now and store it because I don't have the storage capacity. Do you understand? I don't have the storage capacity. And I don't want to incur warehouse charges. I would have bought and take it to a warehouse where I will be charged for warehousing. Now, what I will now do is that I will look for a person that sells rice. And in this case, Mrs. Angela sells rice. Okay? Mrs. Angela sells rice in this case. I will now meet Mrs. Angela. I'm not assuming that presently, a bag of rice is being sold at 35,000. A bag of rice is being sold at 35,000. But my fear is that if I wait until December, the bag of rice must have what? must have gone to 45,000. Do you understand? That is my concern. If I wait until December, bag of rice will have gone to 45,000 because bag of price of rice is what? Is volatile. Now, that is my problem. So I will approach Mrs. Angela and tell her that come. I will be buying 1,000 bag of rice in December, but I want us to agree on the price today. Don't forget, I told you that this question is a big question that will take us like 2 days, if not 3. So I will say, okay, I will buy 1,000 bag of rice from you in December, but I want us to fix the price today. Now, the moment we fix the price today, Mr. Angela said, okay, no problem. In December, I have agreed to sell 1 bag of rice to you at 38,000. We have already fixed the price. This is the fixed price. This fixed price is what we call the exercise price. This is what we call the exercise what? That is the exercise price. Now, let us now assume that in December, through the price of rice has gone to 45,000 in December. The price of 1 bag of rice is 45,000. What will I do? Because I already had an agreement with Mrs. Angela, I will quickly run to her and say, come, madam, we have agreed earlier on the 13th of October that I will buy 1 bag of rice from you at 38,000 naira. Now, it is time I want to buy because it is cheaper for me to buy from Mrs. Angela than to go to the market to buy. If I go to the market, I will buy at 45,000. But since I already have agreement with Mrs. Angela, I will just go to Mrs. Angela and buy rice at 38,000. But assuming that in December, bag of rice is now 33,000, then it will not be beneficial to me to go and buy from Mrs. Angela. I will I will abandon the agreement and go to the market and buy rice at 33,000. That is how auction works. If I buy from Mrs. Angela, I'm exercising my rights. If I do not buy, I'm not exercising my rights. That's what the question says. An auction gives the order the what? The rights, but not obligation. I am not under obligation to buy from Mrs. Angela, but I have the right. Should I exercise my right? Mrs. Angela is under obligation to sell to me. If I say, okay, come, Mrs. Angela, I want to buy rice from you. I want to exercise my right. Mrs. Angela cannot tell me that I'm not selling to you. No, because we have already agreed. So I'm the only one that is having the option. Mrs. Angela is under obligation. And that is what we call offshore. Question again, look at it. I'm expecting a question from you, but let me see whether you get the question.
So I want to ask that since there is already an agreement, like this, the second, this thing that you said, that if the price, if the price in future is down 33, less than the agreed price, shouldn't the agreement be binding that you must buy it at the price, the exercise price?
No, it's not binding. It's not binding on me. It's only binding on the seller. It's not binding on the buyer.
Okay.
Any other question? You have not asked the question I wanted to ask. You wanted to ask it, but you didn't put it in the right way. Mrs. Angela, any question?
No question now, but I'm still trying to assimilate this exercise price.
Now, the question I was expecting from you is that, okay, I entered into agreement to buy rice at 30,000 for Mrs. Angela. But the price of rice is now 45,000. I now come to Mrs. Angela and buy. Abi? So who is losing? Mrs. Angela is losing because she will have sold her rice at
for 45.
She will have sold her rice for 45,000. Now she's selling to me at 38,000. But when the price of rice went to 33,000 that I was supposed to buy from her, I left her alone and went to the market to buy. So it means she's losing from both ends, Abby. Is that what it means?
Yeah,
That's what it means.
Eh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's losing from both sides. If the price of rice drops, she will lose. If the price of rice goes up, she will still lose. So what is her gain? You now tell me, is that not a stupid agreement?
No
How
pain.
will I, as a seller, enter into this unprofitable agreement? Now, the answer is this. Before me, the buyer, sorry, 1 minute, please. What are you eating? We are dropping. What's inside? Kilo basin cup with Sorry, I just needed to caution this lady. This boy guy. Sorry about that. Let's continue. Now, if I enter into agreement with Mrs. Angela, what will make the agreement to be binding? Okay? What will make the agreement to be binding on her is the payment of premium. Where is it? You can see it. For consideration, which is known as what? Premium. I have to pay premium to Mrs. Angela. Do you understand me? So the premium can be that for every 1 bag of rice, I am paying maybe 2,000 naira as premium. And premium is paid immediately. Is paid to that agreement. I will pay the premium the same day. So if the agreement is October 13, 2021, I pay the premium on that same day to Mrs. Angela. So she has already collected the premium. And because she collected the premium, that is what is making the agreement to be binding on her. But me, I paid the premium. So it's not binding on me. I'm the one that paid premium. So the agreement is not binding on me. But she collected the premium. The agreement is binding on her. So the person that collects the premium is the one upon which the agreement is binding. The person that pays the premium is having a right, but not obligation. Do you understand this? The payer of premium is the one that is having the right, but not obligation. The person that collects the premium is the one that is under obligation. Did you understand it? So that if eventually bag of rice is 33,000, I now run away from her, I'm losing my premium. So she's gaining. Hello?
The premium is like an advance payment, right?
It's an advance, not like it's an advance payment. That's why I say it's paid immediately. It's not like it is an advance payment.
And
It's not deducted from the bag of from the price of rice. So
it's not part of the fee. Oh, okay.
it's not part of
template amount.
What the premium is buying. You are using the premium to buy rice. You are not buying rice. You are not buying rice. you are using to buy the right to buy what? To buy rice.
Okay.
So it's not part of the price of the rice.
Mm.
Do you understand?
Okay.
What the premium buys is right. Please, maybe I should use another because right and rice. Maybe it will confuse you, Abby. It's right. You know, it looks me like
Yes, sir.
because of that, I will change it. At least that is distinct.
And the premium is not
So-
recoverable.
And the premium is not refundable. So if you are buying wheat, the premium you are paying is a premium that will give you the right. So you are buying the right to what? To be able to buy wheat at an agreed price today. So if you decide not to exercise your right, you lose your premium. And you will not exercise your right only if in the market you can get rice at cheaper rate. Because, for instance, if rice is being sold at the market at 33,000, but you now say, because you have paid one premium to Mrs. Angela, you now say, I'm going to exercise my right. I will go there and buy rice at 38,000. Who is losing? You are losing from both ends. Hello? Do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Angela, are you with us? Mrs. Chiwe?
I'm with you.
But you do not understand it.
Small, maybe as you go on. Yes,
Ewo.
I've understood that is the right we are paying for, and the premium is
Exactly.
not part of the amount of money you are using
have
to
to-
pay for the rice.
Exactly.
Mm,
Premium is all to buy the right.
the right,
But
and
I'm
not the
not
right
saying-
itself.
Exactly. And it's not refundable and it's paid immediately. So if I want to buy the right to buy wheat in December, I will pay for the right today. So the seller will have collected the premium today and now be watching. In December, if wheat is 33,000 and I have agreed to buy it at 38,000, what will I do? I will just leave you, JJ. I will leave Mrs. Angela, JJ, and go to the market and buy. But if I want to prove stubborn head and say, and I have paid premium of 2,000 per bag, and that's okay, I'm going to exercise my rights. What happened? I will go and buy rice from Mrs. Angela at 38,000. Whereas rice is being sold in the market at 33,000. So it means I will lose the premium I'm buying. I will still buy at what? At a higher price. I mean, so it's better I just leave the premium for Mrs. Angela and go to the market and buy my rice and not say there is God, I leave the premium for you. Do you understand now? That is the concept. That's the concept of offshore pricing theory. I want us to get the basic because we are graduating. We are graduating. If you don't understand the basics, there will be problem. Serious oneself. There will be serious problem. And one thing about this option is that option pricing is very common in ICANN examination. Very, very common question. It is only last 2 days that I discovered that ICANN did not test. I think, okay, yeah, it was not tested last day too. Last 2 days were the only 2 days that I discovered ICANN did not test option. It has been a constant topic in the exam. Every diet, ICANN will set it. Every diet. And when they set it, guess what? It is always a very simple question that will give you 20 marks. So please don't joke with it. Don't joke with it. Or the question I would not want you to, the topic I would not want you to joke with is option and bond valuation. And that's the reason why you cannot go to the exam without me teaching you bond valuation. It's not possible, by God's grace. By God's grace. I have to teach you option, I have to teach you bond valuation. Because the bond valuation as well it's been long that I can tested it. So we are so much expecting in this diet. Bond valuation, we are so much expecting in this diet. Are we there? So please, this is not that we see ICANN question before the exam, but we just have a way of predicting. All what you are doing here is prediction. You understand? It's based on prediction. And most of the time, the predictions are 60 to 70% accurate. Okay? 60 to 70% accurate. That's the reason why you just have to. Sorry for, you may say maybe I'm wasting time, but it's not actually time wastage anyway, because
No, you're not wasting time. It's good to know the rudiments.
these are basic things you need to know. Okay. Okay, good. Now, let us progress. Types of option. Types of option. Okay, should I call this one types or I should call it forms? Okay, let me call it types of option based on expiry. Expiry. We want to classify option based on the expiration period, based on the time the option will expire or the time you can exercise your rights. On this basis, I can classify my option as American option. I can classify it as European option, and I can equally classify it as Bermudan option. These are the three types of option that we have based on the expiration period. When we say America or American option, the American option is an option contract whose right you can exercise anytime between the time. What happened now? My foot. Sorry. So American option is that option that the holder of the option can exercise his right anytime between when the option contract is formulated until the expiration of the option contract. What do I mean by this? If I enter contract today to buy rice in this, and there's December 31, it means that any time from pay until December 31, 2020, can come to you and exercise my right anytime, any date. So far, the date I'm coming is still within the agreed period. October 31, 2021, sorry, October 30, 2021 to December 31, 2021. So anytime within this period, I can come to you and exercise my right. An option that has this feature, or features rather, an option that has this feature is known as American option, or sometimes we call it American styled option. Sometimes we call it this way, American styled option, European styled option, and Bermudan styled option. Let me put it that way. Okay. That's about America. Is European. For a European styled option, is an option contract that can only be exercised on the last day of the expiration of the offshore contract. So if the offshore contract I've entered into is European style offshore, I will not be able to exercise my right until December 31, last day of the contract. So it is until the last day in which the contract will expire. That is the date I can exercise my right. That type of option is called a European styled option. A European styled option. Okay. Then the last one is Bermuda. Now, let me do it this way. Let me bring this one here. I'll tell you the reason I'm bringing it there. This one will not come here. Do you know the reason I'm doing this? I don't know. Mrs. Angela, Mrs. Sheo, Mrs. Chiwe. You people will have traveled abroad. Me, I have not traveled out before. I've always been in Nigeria. The farthest place I've ever gone is Benin Republic. So I've not traveled. So I've traveled out. Now, why did I say I've not traveled out? I've traveled out, Abby. Have I not traveled out?
Yes, now you have some.
I've traveled out now. I've been out of Nigeria. Benin Republic is not Nigeria now. So I've traveled out before. Don't mind me. But for those of you that have traveled to the Western world, and you know geography very well, if you know your geography very well, we're made to know that Bermuda is a country in between Europe and America. So you can understand what that means now. Bermuda is a country in between American and European. And don't forget, I said American offshore can be exercised when? Anytime between when you enter into the contract and when the contract expires. Abi? European is on the last day. Bermuda is on specified day within when the option is formulated until the expiration. For instance, if I enter into option contract and it's Bermudan option, then the option can be exercised. For instance, we can agree that, okay, you can exercise this option on the 30th of October, or let me say 31st of October, 15th of November, 30th of November, 15th of December, 31st of December. You can see that there are selected dates, Abby. There are dates. Unlike America, that is anytime. America is anytime, any date. But Bermuda is what? On selected dates. On selected dates. So that's the reason why we name it Bermuda. Bermuda is in between American and what? And European. Now, you don't have to cram this. Anything we shall be discussing in offshore pricing theory, note, is going to be European. You understand this? Anything I will be discussing with you in offshore pricing, it's not going to be this. No, it's not going to be this. Not this. Not this. It's not this. It's not this. We are going to be dealing with what? The European styled offshore, meaning that we are assuming that any offshore we are dealing with is an offshore that can be exercised on the last day of the expiration of the offshore contract. Is that taking place? I want to ensure that anywhere you see question on offshore, it should not give you any problem to solve. That's my aim. And that's the reason why I'm taking it very, very slowly. Knowing fully well that if you don't have the background, then it will be a bloody waste of time. It is easy for me to just go to this. Sorry, let me check my minute. 1 minute, please. Sorry, 1 minute. Let me quickly see this mail from my office so that. For 4 weeks, okay. Let's continue. So any option we are going to be dealing with is going to be European styled option, meaning that it's an option that can be exercised on the last day of the expiration of the option contract. I believe that is clear, Abby. Now let me now go to types of option based on contracts. The other one is based on expiration, Abby, based on the expiry of the option. This one we are going to deal with here is type of option based on contract. Basically, there are 2 option contracts. We have 2 option contracts. Number 1, we have the call option. We have call option. We have the put option. We have call option. We have put option. When we say call option, a call option will give the order the rights to buy, let me capitalize that, to buy the underlying assets. Why a put option we give let me just copy this one and paste. A put option we give the holder the right to sell. So it's not only buy, it can be a sell as well. For instance, if you sell a product and you fear that the price of the product, maybe you import some product from abroad, the product is still on its way, and normally it can last if you ship it through the waterway, it may be up to 3 months before it gets to Nigeria here. So your fear is that before that product gets to Nigeria, the price must have fallen. Now, what you can do is you can locate a buyer and you now sell option to the person. You sell option to the person in the sense that the person will agree to buy the product from you. Okay? The person will agree to buy the product you are selling. The person is agreeing, is accepting responsibility to buy the product from you. You are selling to him. That kind of option is a put option. Okay? It's a put option. Now, when to exercise an option or the rights in an option. When do we exercise our right? We are going to look at this with respect to call. Call option is option to buy, Abi. Okay, before I put this, let me explain this concept. Let me explain this concept first. SO E. These are very key. What is SO? What is E? E represents, this one is representing, what do you call it? Current price of the underlying assets. Current price of the underlying assets. Okay, current price of the underlying assets. That is price of the item to buy or sell. Now, the price of that item you want to buy or sell now is what is represented by by S. Let's call it the price. Let me put it as a value. Current value instead of price. It's better I call it value. Current value. Okay. Current value of the underlying asset. The asset you want to buy or sell. The current value is represented by SO. Then what about E? E basically represents exercise price. And this represents what? This represents the agreed price to pay in order to buy or sell the underlying assets, in the future. That's what E represents. Okay, that's what E represents. Now, when do I exercise my right? When to exercise a right? When to exercise a right? Now, let's look at this with respect to call option first. Call option. You exercise a call option. Exercise. I'm already teaching you option pricing though. I'm repeating it now. I'm already teaching you option pricing theory. Exercise a call option when it's option to buy, Abi. So you exercise the call option when the value of the underlying assets is greater than the exercise price. I will go back to that illustration I give you now to show you. No, this one now. If this is 45,000, the way I put it before, and the exercise price is 30,000, will I exercise my right or not? Let me hear from you. Will I exercise my right or not? Will I exercise or not? You are no longer with me. I'm very sure you are no longer with me.
Exercise the right.
So when do I exercise my right now? I exercise my right because the value of the underlying assets is what? Is greater than the exercise price. Can you see that? That is where you make a profit. So it simply means that when SO, that's why I first gave you SO. When SO is greater than E, is what? Exercise. Exercise your right. But where SO is less than E, where SO is less than E, then do not what? Do not exercise. Do not exercise. That is for call option because it's option to buy. I will only exercise my right if what I will pay to buy that item is less than the current price of what? Of the asset I want to buy. So the current price of the asset is 45,000, but I can pay 38,000 to buy it. So I will exercise my right because it is cheaper to exercise my right. If I don't want to exercise my right, I will have bought at 45,000. But because I'm exercising my right, I will buy at 38,000. So it's better I exercise my right. Okay. However, if the price of the underlying assets is less than the exercise price, what does that mean? It means I will not exercise my right. I will just leave it. I will go to the market and buy the asset at SO because it is cheaper to do so. Now, put option. Put option. For a put option, which is what? Don't forget, let me also put it there. Option to what? The first thing you need to know is you must know the difference between put option and call option. If you cannot differentiate between them, you cannot solve question on option. You must be able to differentiate between the two. So option to what? This is option to buy. And put is what? Option to sell. Option to sell. So I will only exercise my rights where exercise price is greater than the stock market price. This is exercise. Exercise. What does that mean? It means that I can sell my product at a higher price if I exercise my right. Let me say the exercise price is 45,000, but the stock market price is what? Is 38. I will simply go and sell at the exercise price because it is more beneficial to do so. However, if exercise price is less than, if exercise price is less than the stock market price, I will not exercise. Do not exercise. Now, This one I'm explaining here again. Let me tell you. As we are doing it here, you know, you are the one that is telling me edging, especially when you are telling me edging, you have to do edging. I just laughing at you that the edging I will start now, that you will not be able to sleep with headache. It's not a cause. That is the nature of edging. Now, this is part when we are dealing with the option aspect of edging. So it means we are treating offshore from two perspectives now. Offshore pricing theory is a topic on its own. When we come to edging, we are going to treat edging under what do we call it? Currency risk management. We are going to treat currency offshore contracts. Then we are going to treat interest rates under interest rates management. We are going to treat in offshore with a future with offshore. Okay, we are going to treat offshore there as well. And you must know when to exercise, when not to exercise. Am I dealing with put? Am I dealing with call? Very key. Am I dealing with put? Am I dealing with call? Do I exercise? Do I not exercise? You must know all this. And that's the reason why I'm breaking it down here. You can see that I'm not referring to the notes. I'm not referring to the study packs. The reason is that I want you to be seeing the live scenario here. Okay? I want you to be seeing the live scenario here. Now, this is what you need to know as some of the concepts of offshore. Now, we can value, how do we value offshore now? Valuation of offshore. Valuation of offshore contract. When we say offshore contracts, every offshore has a value. The value of offshore is like the premium you are paying. The premium you are paying is a value of the offshore. Sorry, 1 minute. Oh my God, my sorry, chair. What to call that? Sorry. So valuation of offshore contract. I said when we're talking about valuation, we're talking about the what? The price. How to compute the premium. You know you are paying premium to get that right. How do we value the premium you are paying? That's what they call valuation of offshore. Valuation of offshore. We can value option in two ways. One, we can value option using binomial offshore pricing model. Binomial offshore pricing model. I am not going to touch this. Not to be treated. Not because I don't want to treat it, but because there will be insufficient time to treat it, and it has never been tested by ICANN before. So I wouldn't want to waste time on it at the expense of other important topics. Do you understand? It has never been tested by ICANN, at least within reasonable number of years that I know. In all the Pathfinder that I have, I've never seen binomial option pricing in them. The second one, which is the most important, is Black-Scholes option pricing model. Black-Scholes option pricing model. Black-Scholes option pricing model. That's the one we're going to.
Sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry to take you back.
Okay.
On this, what you said about the put option,
Yeah.
option to sell.
Yeah.
So, after, from the example you gave us, that's the rice being sold at 38,000.
Yeah.
That's the agreed amount.
Yes.
So after entering into that contract, can the buyer say no to that contract? Do you understand what?
Okay. Now, when you are dealing with put option, Abby,
Yes, sir.
no, you
I
can't.
mean, yeah, I mean the seller. Can the seller say no
Yes, no.
to the buyer?
Because, yes, the seller can say, I'm not selling to you. He has the right. Because it's a put option. See,
Okay.
this is where you are going to look at it from. In a put option, you know it's option to sell, Abby.
Yes, sir.
Who collect the premium?
The seller.
No, the buyer.
Okay, because I was thinking that,
Put
you know,
option.
Okay, let me
I
give you
was
this
thinking
scenario.
that, sir, when they enter into that, you said the buyer is supposed to pay like a premium to the seller.
You are missing it up. You are missing it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are missing it up. Look at it. You know we have two types of option, Abby.
Yes,
Either
sir.
put or call, Abby.
Yes, sir.
Now, if it is a call option, now let's take it this way. You are the one that is selling rice. Okay?
Yes,
but
sir.
your fear is that let us say, okay, you have your rice now. You are back because you see that end of the year is approaching and the demand for rice is going to go up rapidly. You now stock rice in a large quantity. But your fear is that if you do not finish selling all what you have in stock before the end of December, the price will crash. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
That is your fear. You are the one that is selling. You have it in stock. Maybe you have like 500,000 bags. We have people like that too. 500,000 bags of rice. They have it in stock. And basically the reason why they buy this is because they are looking at festive period that demand is going to go up during that time.
So are you
Now,
looking from put option perspective, Abby?
yes, put option perspective.
Okay.
From put option perspective now. Okay. So Mrs. Angela has stocked 500,000 bags of rice. Don't worry, I will not call custom to come and investigate you. This is just for class purpose. You have 500,000 bags of rice in your warehouse. And the reason why you bought those bags of rice is because of December festivities. But your problem now is that, what about if I do not sell all these 500 bags of rice before December ending? Definitely, after December, the price cannot remain the same, Abi, because the festival will have been over. No company is buying again because they've already bought and distributed to their customers. Now, what will you do? It means the price will crash, and that is what we want to avoid. Now, what will you do? You will go and look for a buyer. You tell the buyer that, come, I'm selling rice. I have many bags of rice I'm selling, but I want to wait until February before selling. You are not actually waiting until February. You just want to see whether you'll be able to finish selling before February or so. You understand? Now, you will now enter into agreement with the buyer. Now, when you enter into agreement, the buyer is taking it upon himself that, okay, come. Let me say this, January. At the end of January, I'm going to buy 1,000 bags of rice, or let me say 200,000 bags of rice from you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You will not, you, the seller of the rice, will not be the one to pay premium to the buyer. Because the reason why you are paying the buyer premium is that if at the end of January, the price of rice favors you, will you still sell to the buyer? No, you won't. You will go elsewhere to sell your rice, Abi. So it means you have what? You have the right, but the buyer is under obligation. But if at the end of January, the price of rice has actually crashed, okay, you will go and call the buyer to come and buy at a higher price. Even though the price has crashed, the price is now 30,000, and you have agreed to sell to him at 40,000, he must buy because he has already collected the premium. The person that collects the premium is the one under obligation. You that pays the premium, okay? You are paying the premium to the buyer, you are the one that is having the right. So payer has right, receiver is under obligation. It does not have rights. Do you understand now?
Yes,
So
sir.
in a put option, the seller can what? Can say, I'm not selling to you. But the buyer cannot say, I'm not buying from you. I don't know whether you get this thing.
Small. Sir?
I said Chineke now.
No, we are getting it small. No problem. Go ahead,
Okay.
sir.
All right. Mrs. Shiwe, you are muted.
Sir?
Okay, you're the one that just spoken, Abby?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I thought it's Mrs. Agena. All right. I said we are not going to discuss binomial. We are going to discuss Black-Scholes. How do we use Black-Scholes to compute? We use Black-Scholes to compute price, value of what? Of the option. Not value of the underlying asset, value of the option, which is what? The premium. We use it to compute the premium, not the price of the underlying asset. Please don't make a mistake. There's a difference between price of underlying asset and the premium. I think I have explained that. Now, look at what I'm going to do here. Don't be scared of the formula I want to write here, please. Don't be scared. How do we compute call option? Okay, computation of call option price. Computation of call option price. Call option price is computed as C is equal to SO times N D1 minus E exponential raised to power minus RT times N D2. This is the formula for computing call option price. This is the formula for computing call option price. Now, CA represents where C is equal to value of the call option. Value of the call option. D1 is delta of call. D2 is equal to D1 minus standard deviation Let me see whether I will get it standard deviation for my formula for my symbol here. Can someone search for this thing? You can search. Okay, if I can't see it, I'll just use any letter to represent it. Standard deviation. Sorry, I'm sorry whether I will get standard deviation so that okay. This is similar to standard deviation, even though it is not perfect. Okay, let me go and use the one that is similar. I can't see the exact symbol. I can use a closer.
I think I saw it too.
Really?
Yes. Scroll up a bit. Ahead. This, yes, sir. Is that not it?
That's not it. That's the
But it's
closer one I'm talking about.
okay.
If it is standard deviation, this one will have been the other side.
Yeah, that way.
Let's use this one. This one is closer. Standard deviation, square roots. Oh, I'm still going to that place. So. Square roots. Now square roots. I supposed to have square root in this thing. What's wrong with these people? Show square roots. I don't want to start drawing. Okay, this square root. Is correct. Okay. Standard deviation root of t. That is our D2. Of course, you already know your SO. Where's our SO? SO is current value. Current value of the underlying assets. Of the underlying assets. E exercise price. Is the exercise price. Is the exercise price. And this one here, let me just copy it. That small e is exponential function. Exponential function. You should have your calculator with you in our next class so that you know how to use calculator to get all this figure. Then R, the R you have there is risk-free rate of return. Risk-free rate of return. Risk-free rate of return. And T is time to expiry. Sorry. Yes. So T is equal to what? Time to expiry. Time to expire. So that's the definition of all what we have here in that formula. That's the definition. Now your starting point now is for you to compute this D1. That is the first you need to do there. You need to know your D1. You see that D1 is this, D2 is based on D1 as well. So you need to compute delta of call, which is D1. Delta of call, which is D1. And how do we compute our delta of call? To compute delta of call, we have our D1 is equal to in open brackets SO over E close bracket plus open brackets R plus variance square root of variance is standard deviation. So my variance means this one square. That standard deviation there square is the variance. So this one raised to power 2, everything over 2. Everything over 2, close brackets, everything there times t. So all this divided by divided by standard deviation root of t. Divided by standard deviation root of t. Reduce it. So this is the formula for you to get your D1. So let this formula even come first before all this. Before this.
Sir, this formula it will be given to us have been our question sheet.
It will not be given to you. Go and learn it. You don't want to learn formula.
I'm seeing it at the back of one of the questions. Yeah.
Anyway, it will be given. It is part of the formula sheet. Now, when you have the value of your call option, you can use, for instance, if what you want to value is put option, you want to value put option, you don't need to start calculating put option price first. You can calculate call option price. When you get your call option price, then from the call option price, you can get your put option price. Using what? Computation of put option price using using put call parity. Mrs. Chen, you have the question. You have the question with TDI. Hello.
Yes, yes sir.
Give me put call parity.
Okay. C plus E
What do you
capital
call it?
C, the column plus capital E small e raised power minus RT equals to S plus P.
Equals to
S plus P.
good. Now, what that means is this. When I know call option price, I will simply add my present value of exercise price. That is what we have here. I'll still go to explain that to you. But anyway, I will stop this class anytime soon so that you will not have much thing to. But I will urge you, you have to go through this before tomorrow class. Because I'm still going to explain another concept tomorrow before we solve that question. Please. So if I know my call option price, I will add the present value of my exercise price to it. Okay. And whatever I get from there will be equal to my put option price plus SO in short, so that you're not confused. This is what we call put call parity. This is a put call parity formula. That's the put call parity formula, saying that the addition of call option price plus present value of exercise price should be equal to the addition of put option price plus price of the underlying asset. So if I know my call option price, I can use it to get my what? Put option price. That's what it means. Okay, that's what it means. please, let us stop here for tonight so that you can have time to go through this very well. Because tomorrow, before we solve that question, I'm still going to explain the concept of a real offshore. I'm going to explain real offshore before we solve that question 3. You must understand real offshore. All these options are the normal option, which we are going to cover in our subsequent class. But the one we want to deal with in this class is real offshore. But for you to value real offshore, this is what I'm going to use. This concept. So we are using BSOP to value real option. So I will explain the concept of real option to you tomorrow. I don't know. Did you copy down these notes? Did you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you did. So go to the note, please. I beg you. Go to the note before our tomorrow class. May God spare our lives so that it will be easy for you to follow. Any question on this juncture? Any question? Mrs. Shiwe, do you have a question?
For now, no, sir.
Okay, please go through the question, please. I beg you, please. We have to dedicate the remaining 1 month to ICANN so that you know that you have done it and it's gone forever. Please.
Okay, sir.
All right. So we meet tomorrow, probably 5:30. You can see I came back from office very, very early today. That's why I'm taking you from home. So tomorrow, I probably take you from the office.
Okay, tomorrow is by 5:30.
Yeah, it's going to be 5:30. If I'm in the office, in fact, I excuse myself to the office before to take you. I just go to somewhere to go and take you. I can't be in my office to take you if I'm in the office because they be disturbing me, especially my MD. So
At 5:30.
you said 5:30 tomorrow by God grace.
And they will still be disturbing by 5:30. 5:30 should be.
I leave office 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Even the days I'm not taking you, I will leave office latest is 7 o'clock. Sorry, earliest rather. Earliest, I will leave office 7 o'clock.
By that time, it would have been less.
You said?
By that time, there won't be much traffic on the road.
Yes, the traffic will have been a bit lighter, except when we are approaching Yanawu.
Okay.
So 5:30 tomorrow by God grace, we meet. Thank you. Do have a restful night.